Have you ever felt the agony of waiting? That deep, heart-wrenching feeling that perhaps your dua will never be answered, that maybe Allah has forgotten you. You pray, you make dua, you trust, you try to stay patient, but the silence feels unbearable. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and with every passing day, a little more of your hope seems to fade. You watch other people receive the blessings they prayed for, their marriages, their children, their opportunities, their breakthroughs, and quietly, deep inside your heart, a question begins to grow. Ya Allah, what about me? When will my turn come? This feeling, this prison of waiting, is one of the hardest tests a believer can face. It is a place where doubts can begin to whisper, a place where peace feels distant, a place where Shaitan tries to convince you that your duas are not being heard. You begin to question everything, your plans, your future, your understanding of what Allah is doing in your life. But what if the silence is not a sign of rejection? What if the delay is not a sign that Allah has forgotten you? What if Allah is preparing something greater than what you asked for? And what if the secret to finding peace is not after the trial ends, but right in the middle of it? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to Light of Islam TV, where we share inspiring Islamic reminders, powerful stories, and lessons that strengthen our faith and bring us closer to Allah. Today, we will explore one of the most powerful stories in the Quran, a story that teaches us how to move from the pain of waiting to the peace of trust. The story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. The pain of waiting is real. It is the knot in your stomach when another opportunity slips away. It is the disappointment of another unanswered application, another delayed answer, another year passing by while the thing you desire remains out of reach. It is the loneliness of wondering whether anyone truly understands what you are carrying. We live in a world that demands instant results. Everything is fast. Instant messages, instant purchases, instant entertainment. So when Allah asks us to wait, it feels unnatural, sometimes even unbearable. We think progress means moving forward. We think success means seeing immediate results. So when nothing seems to be happening, we feel stuck, forgotten, left behind. And this is exactly where many believers face one of the greatest spiritual struggles of their lives. Because waiting does one of two things. It either weakens our trust or it strengthens it. The question is, how do we transform the pain of waiting into the peace of trusting Allah? To answer that question, Allah gives us one of the most powerful examples in the Quran. The story of a young boy who was shown a beautiful future, but then spent years living a reality that looked completely opposite to that promise.
His name was Yusuf, and his story teaches us that Allah's delays are not denials, and that waiting seasons are never wasted seasons. They are the places where Allah builds our character, strengthens our faith, purifies our intentions, and prepares us for blessings we cannot yet see. Bismillah. The story begins with a promise. Prophet Yusuf ASM was still a young boy when Allah blessed him with a remarkable dream. A dream that pointed toward a future of honor, leadership, and a special position that Allah had prepared for him. It was a beautiful glimpse of what was to come. But what happened next? Did the promise immediately become reality? Did the dream unfold exactly as Yusuf expected? No. Instead, everything seemed to move in the opposite direction. His own brothers became jealous of him. The very people who should have protected him turned against him. They took him far from home, far from his beloved father, far from everything familiar, and then they threw him into a deep well. Imagine the fear, the confusion, the loneliness. One moment you are a beloved son with a bright future. The next moment you are sitting alone at the bottom of a dark well. No explanation, no answers, no understanding of why this is happening. From a human perspective, the dream seemed further away than ever. The promise seemed impossible. But here's what Yusuf ASM could not yet see. Allah was still in control. The well was not outside Allah's plan.
The betrayal was not outside Allah's plan. The delay was not outside Allah's plan. Everything was unfolding exactly as Allah had decreed.
And perhaps that is a lesson some of us need today. Sometimes the place that looks like the end is actually the beginning. Sometimes what feels like a setback is actually preparation. Sometimes Allah takes us through a path we would never choose ourselves because He sees a destination we cannot yet see.
This brings us to a first lesson. The well was not punishment, it was preparation. Think about a tall building. Before it rises into the sky, workers spend months digging deep into the ground. To the observer, it may look like nothing is happening. It may even look like destruction. But what is really happening? A foundation is being built. The deeper the foundation, the higher the building can rise. Likewise, Allah often prepares His servants in hidden places, places where nobody sees the work, places where growth happens quietly, places where patience is developed, where character is refined, where trust is strengthened. Your waiting season may feel empty, but perhaps Allah is building something within you that could not be built any other way. Perhaps He is teaching you reliance upon Him. Perhaps He is teaching you patience. Perhaps He is teaching you humility. Perhaps He is teaching you to seek Him before seeking the blessing. One day, Yusuf ASI would lead a nation. But first, Allah prepared the man before granting the position. And maybe Allah is doing the same with you. Yusuf AS was eventually taken to Egypt. There he was sold into slavery. Again, another hardship, another delay, another season of waiting. Yet even in slavery, Yusuf remained faithful. He worked with excellence. He behaved with integrity. He remembered Allah, and Allah blessed him. Soon he earned trust and responsibility. For a moment, it looked like life was finally improving. Perhaps this was the breakthrough. Perhaps this was the answer. But another test arrived. Yusuf AS was falsely accused. He was innocent, yet he was thrown into prison. Think about that. He did the right thing. He chose obedience to Allah. He protected his honor. And still, he ended up behind bars. Many people would have become bitter. Many people would have given up. Many people would have asked, Ya Allah, why is this happening? But Yusuf AS remained steadfast. Years passed. Then one day, Allah gave him the opportunity to interpret the dreams of two fellow prisoners. One of them would later return to the service of the king. Before he left, Yusuf made a simple request. Remember me, mention me, do not forget me. But the man forgot. Days passed, months passed, years passed, and Yusuf remained in prison, waiting, trusting, believing. This is perhaps one of the most beautiful lessons from the story. Even in prison, Yusuf alayhi continued serving others. He continued helping people. He continued using the gifts Allah had given him. He did not allow his difficult circumstances to stop him from benefiting others. And this teaches us something powerful. When we are hurting, our natural instinct is to focus entirely on our own pain, our own problems, our own disappointments. But often, one of the greatest ways to survive a season of waiting is to continue serving, continue helping, continue giving, continue benefiting people, continue doing good. Not because life is easy, but because Allah deserves our obedience in every season. Sometimes the very gift that opens your future door is the gift you continue using faithfully during your waiting season. Yusuf practiced his gift in prison long before it brought him to the palace. Then came the moment that changed everything. The king of Egypt saw a troubling dream. None of his advisors could explain it. None of his experts had the answer. And suddenly, the former prisoner was remembered. The man who had forgotten Yusuf finally remembered him. And in a single moment, years of waiting began to make sense. Yusuf was brought before the king. And when the king asked him about the dream, Yusuf did not become arrogant. He did not boast. He did not seek glory for himself. Instead, he pointed toward Allah. The years of hardship had transformed him. The trials had purified him. The waiting had strengthened him. Through the knowledge Allah gave him, Yusuf interpreted the dream and proposed a plan that would save an entire nation from disaster. And just like that, the prisoner became a leader. The forgotten man became honored. The rejected man became respected. The dream that once seemed impossible became reality. But notice something important. The palace did not happen despite the well and the prison. The palace happened through the well and the prison. Every hardship was part of the preparation. Every delay had a purpose. Every painful chapter was leading towards something greater. My dear brothers and sisters, this is where the pain of waiting becomes the peace of trust. Because eventually, you realize something. Allah was working the entire time. Even when Yusuf could not see it. Even when he was in the well. Even when he was sold. Even when he was imprisoned. Allah was working. And Allah is working in your life too. Even if you cannot see it right now. Perhaps the delay is protecting you. Perhaps the hardship is preparing you. Perhaps the waiting is teaching you lessons that immediate success never could. Allah says, "And whoever puts their trust in Allah, then He is sufficient for him." Surah At-Talaq 65:3. What a beautiful promise. Allah is sufficient. Not your plans, not your timeline, not your expectations, Allah. And true peace comes when your heart finally accepts that. The story of Yusuf ASL reminds us that Allah's delays are not denials. The well was not the end. The slavery was not the end. The prison was not the end. And your current hardship is not the end either. Your story is still being written. The chapter you are living today is not the final chapter. The same Allah who brought Yusuf from the depths of a well to the leadership of a nation is fully capable of bringing relief to your life as well. Trust Him, remain patient, continue making dua, continue obeying Him, and never lose hope in His mercy, because Allah never abandons those who place their trust in Him. O Allah, for every brother and sister watching who is struggling through a season of waiting, grant them patience. O Allah, strengthen their hearts when they feel weak. O Allah, replace their anxiety with tranquility. Replace their fear with hope. Replace their sadness with certainty in your promise. O Allah, help us trust your wisdom when we cannot understand your plan, and make us among those who remain steadfast until your relief arrives. If this reminder benefited you, share it with someone who may be struggling through a season of waiting. And if you want more powerful Islamic reminders, Quranic reflections, and stories that strengthen your faith, subscribe to Light of Islam TV and join us on this journey toward Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.